50 of our Defence Force at 6:08, their troops, I should say, will be deployed to Europe tomorrow to provide further support to the war in Ukraine. The government yesterday stepped up its efforts, including an extra $13 million towards military, legal and human rights support. Does it go far enough? Let's find out. National Party Defence spokesperson Gerry Brownlee is with us this morning. Good morning, Gerry.
Good morning, Ryan.
So what do you make of it? The right move?
Yeah, I think it's appropriate and proportional are the two words that I'd use for this particular announcement. But we would hope also that it's part of an ongoing consideration by the government as to how we continue helping the people in the Ukraine defeat the huge aggression inflicted on them by Russia.
You wanted to send the Javelins. The Defence Force said that would have been 5 minutes of warfare. Was that the wrong call?
No, it's I'm sure still under consideration because let's be very clear. I think it's about 7 of that 13 million that's been allocated will be going for ammunition and other weaponry, and that's probably only about 5 minutes worth as well. War is an incredibly expensive thing these days.
So you're saying that the Javelins should still be on the table?
Look, I hope they are. I mean, what I'm really saying is that this is a good step, and I hope that anything else we might be able to do that can be operationalised inside the Ukraine, and we could provide it, then I think that would be something that should still be under consideration. But, look, let's not take away from the fact that New Zealand is stepping up here, and I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely. I think people will wonder, though, what's taken us so long, particularly when the likes of Australia way back in February announced that they were going to be supplying many of the types of support that we're now announcing 7-8 weeks into the war. Do you think that we've been a bit slow?
Look, I think we have been slow. Initially, of course, even on sanctions. The Prime Minister was saying we've got enough capacity to bring in all sorts of sanctions without having the specific legislation. But then literally days after that, had to bring in the Russian sanctions bill. We would have liked to see that bill enacted a lot sooner. And now the process for putting those sanctions in place also appears a little slow and slightly out of step with our partner-type nations, if you like.
You want to boot the Russian ambassador out, eh?
Look, I can't see the point in having Vladimir Putin's mouthpiece sitting in Wellington, taking advantage of social media to pump out all the misinformation that the Kremlin wants to pump out about the Russian aggression in the Ukraine.
Yeah, well, I suppose that there might come a time where we need somebody in country to talk to.
For what reason?
Well, I don't know. We might need to negotiate something with them.
New Zealand won't be negotiating peace here. We may be part of a process around that, but it will not be dependent on the Russian ambassador in Wellington. And I think the statement it makes to the rest of the world that we don't tolerate and have no time for the absolute uncalled for aggression by Russia. People can't watch their screens on your show and many others and see the destruction that individuals, innocent people are having to tolerate, put up with. Even those words don't describe it properly. It's just absolutely appalling. And, your heart goes out to them.
Yeah, it's gut-wrenching. Gut-wrenching is what it is.
Trying to tell us that it's actually all fabricated. What a load of rubbish. He should be on his bike.
Well, I looked on, because you mentioned this yesterday, and I looked on their Facebook page today, the Embassy for the Russian Federation, and all the posts are still up there. So thanks, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, for that. Let's talk very quickly about how this would actually work, because the Prime Minister says that the Foreign Affairs Select Committee must first deliberate before the government would move on making the ambassador persona non grata. So your committee first has to sort out what it wants to do. Is that right?
No, it's not right. I don't know where that came from. That might be a process that the current government wants to follow. Certainly as a member of that committee, I'm not aware that that's what they've asked for. The committee itself, I think, is now quite out there in the public, have asked the Russian ambassador to come in so that we can, on behalf of Parliament, explain to him how inappropriate his government's actions have been.
Yes, but so you're saying you've asked for him to do that. He's not going to do that. Now is the ball in the Prime Minister's court when it comes to expelling him, making him persona non grata?
Absolutely.
Right.
The representation is government to government.
And you want her to do that?
Oh, I think it's something that would be a very good signal not only for people here in New Zealand, but also for other nations that look to countries like ours to protect democracy. You know, we're one of the oldest democracies in the world, although we're a young country, post-1840. We've had continuous democracy all the way through the 1900s. So I think that's one of the unique things about New Zealand. We do value a democracy, we value freedom.